Well, hello. I'm sitting here waiting for the quintessential time to arrive, I mean, and I'm watching the smoke arise and leave all that smoke soot on my wall and on that picture behind me. And I'm thinking, boy, I need to clean that up again. If you think that's bad, what you see behind me, you should see the ceiling up there from burning candles here for I don't know. I started out not doing it here in the beginning of doing my videos, but I think it's been at least a couple of years that I've been burning candles right there behind me every day, and it's leaving its mark. Anyway, I've been doing a lot of introspection today, and the title that I finally came up with for this video is "The Shadow Government is Being Overshadowed." Interesting couple of days for me. I was contacted by the ambassador of the Dragon Council 303 and had what was probably my longest conversation yet. I had already recorded my conversation with Mr. Sugih at that time, a conversation that certainly challenged me in regard to paying the IRS back taxes. Then earlier this morning on our way to church, I talked with my partner in our Ho'oponopono project about the conversation that she had just finished watching. Her take was fascinating. She saw things I did not see. At church, my energy was flowing strongly, which continued just a short while ago as she and I had a phone conversation about the same subject. As I sit here, concerned about the shadow government most know nothing about, I'm getting the realization that we are living in a time when the shadow government is being overshadowed. Indeed, the ambassador did clear up a few things. He is an ambassador for the Dragon Society. The dragons are mostly in China right now. I've been invited to go to China in the relatively near future, no time set yet. And I don't know exactly when that will occur or if. I was supposed to go to Indonesia earlier this year and last year, and neither one of them ever happened. I'm supposed to go again maybe this fall, and I don't know if that will happen either. I'm at the point in my life where I don't really totally believe anything till it happens. But in any case, the conversation was interesting. It's not Illuminati. They are actually watching the Illuminati and the Cabal very, very carefully. And they are wanting to do the same thing that Mr. Sugih has expressed again and again as wanting to do, to liberate humanity from the slavery system that we've been in. And in fact, Mr. Sugih is also invited to go to China to meet the old man, who is the head of the Dragon Society. Now, all of these people, Mr. Sugih, most of the people in the delegates, if not every single delegate, the Dragon Council 303, who's when Mr. Sugih said that was paying the IRS out of the collateral accounts, I mean, that raised that raised a lot of concern for me even when he said it. And as I pondered it later, I mean, I didn't even go back and watch the video because I didn't want to hear him say it again, because I almost couldn't believe he said that to begin with. I mean, it seemed like totally the wrong thing to do. Why would you give the IRS, which is as I see it, the Federal Reserve and the IRS and virtually all of the central banking system in the world is a criminal operation that has been created to harvest the energy of humanity for the benefit of a few people at the top who like to start wars and like to do all sorts of atrocious things in the world. And how the hell are we going to ever create a world that works for everybody as long as these people continue to enrich themselves and be empowered in the monetary system? I mean, if the monetary system is going to enrich people that have plans like Agenda 21, then we're in real trouble, folks. We'd be in real trouble. Except I'm told, and I have the sense, that something bigger is happening. Again, the shadow government is being overshadowed. And it is God's plan, as Mr. Sugih said. And as my friend reiterated again and again, we cannot not include the Illuminati or the dark forces, because we're all in this thing together. Whether we're jinn or demons or angels or humans, the humans are actually in the middle. And the ambassador said it's just that angels and jinn are the same thing, and humans are in the middle between the dark energies and the light energies, and we are the heart of creation, because it's up to us, having influences from both ends of the spectrum, if you will. We have the ability to exercise free will, even though for most humans it doesn't appear that they have free will, because they've been so brainwashed and they don't think outside the box, and it's a real challenge for most people to see the bigger picture. However, we are in a position where we are going where angels could not go. It's not where they feared to tread, it's where they could not go, because they weren't designed to go where we are designed to go. We are designed to create things using the energies of the dark and the energies of the light, and bringing them together into some kind of a balance and some kind of a synergy that will enable us to create what is now being awakened within us more and more, the desire of our heart for world peace. Now we know that the dark side doesn't want world peace, and the light side does, or at least that's what we're told to believe. And it's our job, my friend reminded me, to do the Ho'oponopono, to do the inner work, recognizing that the microcosm contains everything that's in the macrocosm. In other words, what's in you and me is in the whole world. And when we recognize that there is an interconnected web of life, instead of getting caught in the spider web, we have the opportunity to co-create and to literally change the matrix, the same way Dr. Yu Lin did in the prison, where he was entrusted with the souls of criminally insane individuals. You might say psychopathic individuals. Well, we have the same thing before us, but on a much larger scale. It's not in a little prison, it's in a prison planet. On a prison planet where we have been the prisoners, we have been the victims and the perpetrators of our own destruction. Except now, from the potential ashes of our destruction arising within us, we are overshadowing the shadow government with the awakening, with the healing process. We are doing something that has never been done before. We are bringing the energies of matter and spirit together in such a way that we can do the dance, even if that dance is with a sword. And that came up in the conversation that I had with my friend driving to church this morning. I made it a point to pick her up because I wanted to have a conversation. I don't get to spend a lot of time with her. So every chance that I get, I take to be actually in her energy field of her present, although the truth of the matter is we're in each other's energy fields even when we're several miles apart. We're that entrained to one another that we feel each other's energy I'm not going to say all the time, but a lot. And when she gave her discussion and she had taken notes on what she felt Mr. Sugih was doing, she was seeing it as a very positive thing, not a negative thing. She was not seeing it as the yang energy here in this man sees it. She was seeing it with the yin energy of the feminine. And she was saying, yes, we don't want to create another system where we just punish people and where our justice is about punishment. We want healing to take place, and it must take place, she's insisting, in me and in her and in each of us individually, because that's where it has to be. We can't fix the problem out there until we fix the problem in here. But anyway, as I'm listening to her, I was reminded of a conversation I had with a lady some years ago who thought, after reading my magazine, that she might be my soulmate or my twin flame. And she had my friend, who had moved from Florida to Texas, contact me and say, for her friend, I want to meet you. Now, she was a married lady who was in an open relationship. Isn't that a coincidence? And just before I made the trip, plane tickets already purchased, she changed her mind and she said, "No, I'm not your twin flame. I made a mistake." Oh, how devastating. Well, I did get to spend a few hours with her, though, in South Padre Island in Texas. And I don't even remember the lady's name. It may come back to me at some point, but in this point of time, and I did talk to my friend about it, at this point in time, I don't remember, but that's not important. What I do remember is that we spent a few hours together, and she was like steel sharpening steel with me. I mean, it was one of those conversations that was firing on all cylinders. And I mean, we were not seeing things from the same perspective, but it wasn't like we were arguing or fighting. It was a totally different type of conversation. It was a conversation when she was sharpening me and I was sharpening her. And we were actually pruning each other's wits, if you will, and coming into a hyperdimensional space almost that blew me away. Now, I never communicated with her again after that communication, so I don't have any follow-up information as to what her take on it was. All I know is what my take was. But I felt that same energy again for the second time in my life in the conversation with my friend this morning, and again this afternoon as we had our phone conversation. It's steel sharpening steel, and it's a dance with swords, but it's not a dance with swords that are dueling to try to destroy each other. On the contrary, it's the exact opposite of that. We are being overshadowed with an energy that overshadows our individual shadow. Not just the shadow government, but the individual shadow within us that contains all of the things that we've suppressed, all of the unconscious content of our soul that has been pushed down and tried to be taken out of our view and vantage point. And our job, not just she and I working on this project, but all of the humans that choose to accept it, choose a partner, get with a partner, and do the Ho'oponopono, recognizing that everything that's out there has to be healed inside of you. That's the message that my friend is helping me to see, because I was really distraught with Mr. Sugih. I really did not like his answer that he's giving the IRS all of this money. I mean, to me, why would you enrich criminals and enable them to maybe fulfill their Agenda 21? But as I meditated after the conversation with my friend, as I meditated again and came up with this title and this topic, I'm saying, wait a minute, something bigger is happening here that Mr. Sugih can see, my friend can see it, and maybe I'm getting inklings of it myself. I can't say that I see it fully yet, because I've been engaged so long in trying to bring justice to the world and to fix the problem out there, which I've always said the problem out there is in here. Also, there is no separation between inner and outer, and I truly believe that that's the reality. There really isn't any difference between the inner and the outer. What you see out there is in here. What you sense in here is also out there. It's all one thing, because everything is one thing, and it's not a choice between either this or that. It's reconciling the apparent irreconcilable conditions within ourselves and bringing peace within our own heart, within our own soul, within our own mind, within our own spirit, bringing peace there and reconciling the irreconcilable differences within us. And when we are able to do that and we multiply that energy, when we connect all of our energies with another human being, however we choose to do that, we connect our energies with that other human being, and that multiplies the potential that we have. And we need a much greater potential. Mr. Yulin did it by himself, as far as I know, sitting looking at the files of these criminally insane people. And he was able to clear that psychiatric ward of the prison, to empty the ward, as it were, by just doing Ho'oponopono, by taking responsibility for the condition he witnessed in others, and recognizing that he needed to heal that condition within himself. That's the challenge that we have. And if we want to overshadow the shadow government, this is the process that we need to go through. We cannot just simply wage war with what we see that we don't like, because that is the same energy that has perpetuated the problem. And if we go back and try to resolve the problem with the same level of consciousness that the problem was created with in the first place, have we accomplished anything? As my friend says, it's just more insanity. And indeed, it is more insanity. So we have before us the challenge of overshadowing our own shadow with a love that is all-encompassing, a love that is transformative, a love that touches us where we've never been touched before, a love that enables us to fire on all cylinders, a love that enables us to have these sword against sword dance conversations with people, where we do see things from a different point of view, and where each allows the other point of view full respect and full reverence, and yet you're able to come together and still say, and I love you. Yes, you're seeing it differently than I see it. And I love you for that. I love you for the gift you're bringing me in helping me to expand how I perceive reality. Because this is healing. This is how we overcome the shadow. This is how we change the world. But it's about changing ourselves first. And that's the task, to make the unconscious within each of us conscious. Let's do the dance, folks. Join with somebody. Find somebody that you can do the dance with. Bring your energies together on whatever level Spirit opens up for you to do. And ask. If you don't have someone to do it with, ask. Because this is a really important thing that we're doing for each other. For ourselves, yes, she says, it's selfish because we're doing it for ourselves. But what we do for ourselves from a higher point of view, from our higher mind, our higher consciousness, is ultimately for all of creation. Thank you for listening, and namaste. That was good.